Hey everybody, I'm Jesse and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today we have a subscriber inspired edition. I'd like to thank Roddy Dad for suggesting this topic. So thank you, Roddy Dad. I sincerely appreciate it. I'm going to talk about this thing we have now where they import these Pakistani and Indian immigrants and then give them government taxpayer money either through these loans that, very low to no interest loans, or maybe even grants that they don't ever have to pay back, and to buy stores and motels and this kind of shit, right? Back when I was a kid, it was very common to see an old couple that had saved up their money and invested in a small store, or maybe inherited a small store from their parents and continued on with the work. Here in Central Florida, there used to be a store called Buck and Doe's, and I knew that old man who owned it. And toward the end there, he was in financial straits. It was hard to keep up because stuff was getting more expensive, and he was trying to keep the prices low for the community. The location of the store out there is not, it's just a poor area, and these people couldn't afford really expensive stuff. And a lot of times, he would probably give away, a gallon of milk to a hungry mother, or a bag of cat food to some old lady, so he was generous too, which wasn't good business sense, but it made him a good human being. Then he died, and his kids inherited the store. Well, they were in financial straits. They inherited that financial difficulty from their father, and eventually the store shut down. They couldn't do it. They couldn't keep up. But about 6 months later, the store opened back up. And I was surprised. I thought it was just gone forever. And I walk in there, and now Pakistanis own it. So they got a chunk of our tax money, bought the place, opened it up, and now the store is back in action. It's no longer Buck and Doe's. I don't know what it's named now. I quit going there. I don't frequent the place anymore. But my point is that why couldn't those American people have gotten that government money? They've been paying taxes. Their father had paid taxes for decades and decades. They themselves have been paying taxes for decades, but they could not receive this money. But these immigrants new to the country, the government just opens up the slush fund and throws them handfuls of money to open up a store. Why does the government do this? Why don't they help Americans? I don't, and I know some of you are out there screaming at your phone or your TV or something, racist, bigot, and all this shit. I get it. I've already, go watch my racist video. I've already admitted to it, but it has nothing to do with color. All right. I know that the definition of racist has changed, but this has nothing to do with color. And that's what racism is actually about, is color. I don't care what color the human being is. I don't care if the Pakistanis are white or the Indians are white. I don't care if the people that own the store are black or brown or whatever, as long as they're Americans. As long as their blood is red, white, and blue. That's all I care about. These people should get our money, not foreigners. I guarantee you that Pakistan, the Pakistani government, and the Indian government over there in India, they do not just open up the coffers whenever an American citizen immigrates over there and throw money at them, throw, Pakistani or Indian taxpayer money at them to open up businesses over there. They don't do that for Americans. Why do Americans do it for the rest of the world? Why is our American government screwing us? Why can't the Pakistani government give Pakistani citizens this money to open up stores in Pakistan? Why can't the Indian government give Indian people the money to open up stores in India? Why do they have to come over here and take our money? That's our money. That's our government. And don't get me wrong, I would rather go to an Indian store or a Pakistani store than to a big Walmart or something, okay? Because these are good people. I've been to these stores. I had one real close to my home about 10, 15 years ago. And I go in there, and the first time I went in there, I asked the guy for something, and he didn't have it. And he said, I'll get it for you. I'll get it for you, and I'll set it aside. I'll have that for you, from now on, I promise. I said, okay. So then I came back about a week later, and I asked him, and he got in the side and got underneath and pulled it out for me. So that kind of service is you don't get that kind of service in Walmart or something. You know what I mean? They're good business people. They're good people. I'm not downing the individuals. I'm downing the government and the system, because I know that American people are good people. American people will do that same thing. American people will treat you good. That old man that died over there at Buck and Doe's, he was a good man. His kids were good people. And they deserved help from the American government. But they didn't get it. And it's sad to see our government let us down over and over again. And a lot of times these things I talk about, I have no skin in the game. I'm never going to own a store. Don't want to own a store. Don't want to buy a motel. Don't want to do any of that shit. It's not me. I'm not a people person. I can't imagine sitting across a counter and dealing with people all day. No, I'm not going to do it. So what their policies don't help me personally at all, but they would help my fellow Americans. And they are hurting my fellow Americans. Those of you who do want a store, who do want a motel, those of you who would enjoy that kind of work. And you might not even know you would enjoy it, but you'll never have the chance because the government's not going to help you. And it's almost impossible to save up that much money to buy a place like that, right? But if the government, yeah, sure, if you're a Pakistani immigrant and the government will just kick you a couple $100,000 to start a store, why not? Shit. I'm not risking anything. What's the worst that can happen? I go back to Pakistan? I have to go home? I don't have to pay it back. If I default on the loan, I just go home. No big deal. It wasn't that bad over there anyway. I grew up there. I'm used to it. That kind of stuff it irks me. It bothers me when I see these policies that hurt America. They don't favor Americans. They cut us out of the system, but they've got us so divided and so focused on all this bullshit, Taylor Swift's Super Bowl and shit and all this other shit that now there aren't any more American mom and pop stores. None. I haven't seen one in years. I mean, literally years. If it's a small mom and pop owned place, it's Pakistani or Indian here in where I live. It might be might be Haitian or something up there where you live. I don't know. But it's not American. They're not Americans anymore. We're not helping each other. And that is the whole thing. That's supposed to be the idea, is to help each other. These people abandoning their countries aren't helping their countries. They're not. They're not helping Pakistan by abandoning Pakistan, running away and coming to America and stealing from Americans. And that's what it is. It's stealing. When the government puts a gun to my head and says, give me your money, and they take that money and give it to someone else, that's theft. It's robbery. But somewhere on some piece of paper, someone wrote it down as a law that that's legal. So it's legal robbery, but it's still robbery. It's still theft. Just technically, it's legal. We're being robbed in so many different ways as American citizens. We're being lied to. We're being just twisted and look over here, with the media and all that. Like I was saying about the Taylor Swift thing. Look over here. While we're paying attention to all this bullshit that's going on, all these political shenanigans and the lies and the Pizzagate and the Russiagate and all this bullshit, slowly but surely, all of our stores are being sold off to immigrants. And we're buying them. That's the thing. We're buying them. The immigrants aren't working hard and saving up their money and coming over here. No, that's not it. They come over here and the government gives them our money. We buy it for them. Why can't we buy it for other Americans? Why? The answer is we can. But if you ask a politician, a senator or something, the answer you'll get is it's complicated. And if you push them, then you're a racist. We can't understand these things, right? We can't understand why an American person can't get that exact same loan and start a store. That it's too complicated for us simple folk. That's what we're led to believe. And that's what we're led to believe with all of this bullshit. All these foreign affairs and the military and education and all of this immigration. Everything is just so complicated. The economy is so complicated and convoluted and complex. Just normal people like me and you, we can't understand it. That's impossible. Our betters have to do that for us, right? I call bullshit on all that. It's not complicated. It's simple. Foreign war? No foreign war. Loans to Americans to start businesses or loans to foreigners to start businesses? It's that simple. It really is. Give me the paper, the law that says that, and I'll scratch out foreign national or immigrant or whatever, and I'll pencil in American, and that's it. American citizen. That's why I have a problem with this. Not because it's an immigrant coming over looking for a better life and I'm a racist and all this. No. It's that every single American in this country is excluded from that. You can't get that loan. And we should be asking why. There should be 100 Americans who get that loan for every one illegal or one legal immigrant that gets that loan. You want to come to this country, you shouldn't get any kind of loan for the first 10 years or something. You should have to work hard. And then on top of that, you go into these Pakistani or Indian stores and their whole family's in there. They've brought their whole family over. That shouldn't be a thing. You shouldn't get to bring your entire culture with you. You should have to leave everything behind. Work your ass off. Why is it so attractive? Why do they make it so attractive to come over here and leech off the American taxpayer? Instead of making it, making a deterrent to that, they're making it attractive. They're making them want to come over here. One person comes over here and gets, a $250,000 loan and starts a business. What's he going to do? He's going to call home. Hey, everybody, look what the Americans are doing over here. They're just giving me money. Y'all need to go to the whatever board and fill out your shit and get over here. I mean, now, before they change their minds. That's the kind of shit that goes on. If he came over here and he had to work, bust his ass for 10 years, he'd call back and say, damn, I just got done with a 14-hour shift and I'm making, I'm making minimum wage. It's rough over here. They wouldn't be lining up to come over here and steal our taxpayer money because there would be they wouldn't be getting it. This is the kind of stuff I think needs to be changed. And not because I dislike Pakistanis or I dislike Indians. It's because I love Americans. I love America. And I'll leave you there with that. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, I'll put that link down in the description. Or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. Or you can head over to Buy Me a Cup of Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I appreciate those of you who do that. Thank you very much. If you're interested in Gen X gear, you can hop over to Redbubble and check out what we have over there. Got a lot of Gen X things and Gen X branded stuff. Pretty cool stuff. T-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, that kind of stuff. But I'll put that link down in the description as well. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out a lot. Thank you very much for those of you who do that. I sincerely appreciate it. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments, or you can email us in the emails over on the channel page. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.